shit on other things as if that's the fucking law of philosophy. Knowing whole time and like motherfuckers have pushing the most hate out of their body by doing that. Like you're not even taking a chance to like acknowledge and or understand like what the fuck is going on. Or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they just want to seem better than
and it's
people.
weird. So it's like this egotistical side. So that, I feel like that like is gonna like if you do believe in the heaven and the hell situation, I feel like that's gonna send you to hell quicker.
Right. Like people think they're right with God, but
like
they're really
that's
not.
like you're judging so crazy and you're putting your ego and your pride up so heavy. That's one of the deepest sins. Instead of like breaking down as a person and kind of fucking trying to at least understand or comprehend where they're from. Like I don't know. Even if
it becomes like this weird like societal structure type of thing rather than actual like spiritual connection and like deep understanding of like the earth and like humanity and shit. Like it just becomes this whole different beast within itself. Like, oh yeah, like
We go to church and we take photos and
you know what I mean though?
do
Like,
that thing. But like it gets like fucking
You be getting,
cultish.
I be hearing from the people who work in restaurants. They say the worst customers come in right after church. Like the rudest people be coming in.
like
depends on the church.
Yeah,
bro.
well,
that
honestly,
does.
that part. I feel
That
like
definitely, not everyone, but like
you know what I'm saying? I
But be
feel
like them super religious people who like, you know what I mean? Like them super like.
Some churches are weird, dog. Like straight cults, pretty much.
Yes, bro. Dude, my homegirl, she went to a mega church once, and they gave her like gift cards and shit for her first time coming.
Really?
Yeah, she got gift cards to Chick-fil-A and shit.
I feel like
She just went. That's all she did.
that's insane.
that's cool, but mega churches
Mega
went to
churches
a
are
mega
makes
church.
you feel weird. You went to mega church?
Yeah, and
Well, how was your experience?
in Kentucky? So honestly, it was kind of dookie. To be honest, so there was at one point like I think my dad like tried to like become like a higher member of the church and something, or like a spot that was open. He wanted to get closer to God, closer understanding and all that stuff, and like they essentially turned him away and like a whole extra stuff, which I don't know if there's like a whole like set fucking hierarchy, which is weird to even think about. Like
So he was trying to move up in the church, and they were just like, nah.
yeah, essentially. Like I don't know that. Just again, I was like 12, like, well, no, I was like 13, 14, so like I didn't really like know what the fuck was going on, but I guess it was wild. Like some shit went down, like, and all that shit. But I don't know. They were all right, I guess. Like I didn't really fuck with a lot of them. Like they were kind of, I don't know. A lot of them were judgmental of us. Like a lot of the whole.
I don't like the judginess out of like structural
it's like
religion, shit.
like
all the rules and like it's
All mega
not for
churches
me.
are,
Like I like the core values of like religion and shit. Like
But people who
wisdom.
take that shit too far, no, 1,000%.
People just take it way too far. It's not that serious,
Oh
bro.
my God.
Like
because there's a deeper hate going on. It's all taught hate, but it's like there's a deeper fucking weird brainwashing going on deeper than just the religion. It's no longer like you trying to approach this as like a spiritual being, like, oh, this is me trying to understand what it is like going through trials and tribulations and still expressing love in a positive mind and like, you know, a higher mind state versus like motherfuckers are out here thinking we're still fighting, like, and that's a whole different subject, but like motherfuckers are like literally will like, I don't know, like point out like races alone or like fucking like religions alone as like evil and like fucking like devils and shit, and I'm like, some of the shit that some motherfuckers do are wild, and it should get changed 100%, but like, I don't know. We can't just keep on demonizing like everything and like fighting, throwing violence at it. Like that shit's gonna fix anything.
If a person is demonizing an entire group of people, like fucking do not listen to them. Like they are retarded. Like they are so stupid.
Oh God, that part.
Like
No, it's funny because, you know, I used to not really. So like when I was younger, I grew up with like going to church or whatever, like a decent amount. We're Catholic.
Okay.
We are Catholic, and I once I started like smoking, I feel like it's when I kind of stopped. Like I was just kind of like, I don't know, like. I don't know. I just started like as I got older, but then also as I started smoking, I just started being like, I don't know. It just seems like the world is just what it is. Like there's science and shit, like But then as I got older from that, I feel like I started kind of being like, no, there has to be something greater at stake. Like I just started thinking about things deeper, and then I started being like, okay, I don't know like what religion. I just haven't done enough research either. But it's like I don't know what religion I would fall within, but I know I do believe something. The way I kind of feel personally, just based off everything I know, is that God is just the universe around us. Like when people used to, like when I was younger, people used to say like God is all around us and stuff.
Yeah.
I used to not understand like what that meant, but now I feel like that it means like the I don't know. I look at physics as what God is because physics are what literally bring everything. That's how fucking atoms bond together to make things. Like it all comes down to just physics and orbits and things circling around and coming together. Like that's literally all everything is based off of. And it comes down to that no matter how you look at anything, like, I don't know, man. And it's also just when you think about, like, how we are just a planet that is constantly moving throughout space.
Yeah.
Like, all that shit, I'm just like, dog, we think we even have anything. Even the wisest people here on this planet, they don't know jack shit about what's really going down.
Scientists don't know
anything. We do our best to explain things.
They're smarter. They're way smarter than us, but at the same time,
science works for a lot of things.
That's
why we have cars and guns.
You have people who literally spend their lives like in like mountains and fucking temples and shit, just like praying and trying to understand life in general, like for like on a spiritual. So like I can't even like with Ethan like. So like when I started smoking weed, I wanted to say like. That's not. I didn't really like. I already had like a Christian upbringing and shit, but like it wasn't until like I guess I did acid or something. Yeah, yeah,
it's fucking acid.
Yeah. So like fucking like, cause for a minute there I just didn't believe in God. Like, and if I did, but like I was like agnostic atheist. I was like, there's something out there, but it doesn't give a fuck about us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and if there isn't anything out there, well then fuck it. But then like. I had that mad trip, and then something like it was no longer just like a whole like physical understanding of it. It was like there's so much more that we don't even understand because like we're still stuck on this like whole physical idea of like, oh, we have to get this shit done, or we have to accomplish this goal in this world and shit.
Yeah.
Whole time we don't even know what the fuck's in stake for us in the afterlife when we do pass, or if some motherfuckers do ascend to that fucking nirvana and shit. So like when like I was tripping hard.
Yeah.
Like when I hit that level, I started hearing voices and like beings talk to me, and that was like a deeper understanding of like it's more than just me in this bitch. Like I have literal like people, ancestors who died like before me, who are literally still watching over my back. Like I got guardian angels who have been sent down to like watch over me.
Yeah.
And the more that I started thinking about that, talking to a couple homies about that, and they been like, yeah, dog, if you just feel it and you look into it. And I started looking into it and like believing in what I like talked and stuff. Like I seen change, you know what I'm saying? It was wild, but it was like not really something like you can like describe to a lot of people, like especially on that type of tip, like getting in tune with your spirit self and like knowing that like all around you is out to like guide you and help you along the way and not steer you from any light and or justice. It definitely does.
Let me ask you this, because I feel like I've just heard this in like religious like discourse, I guess. I don't know. Like a lot of people will say like things like acid, mushrooms, psychedelics, whatever. It's like it's not a true like godly experience. Like they think it's like demonized like energy that isn't truly what you're supposed to, like it's not like, because people say like they had these profound experiences, yada yada yada, their life's changed, but some religious people say like that is not true God, that is not true spirit energy that you're supposed to be seeing. Like that's like false prophets. So like I don't know if like I've never had that experience. So like what's your take on all of that?
I will say throughout all like types of texts and stuff throughout like all religions. They've had some type of thing that they use to commune with God. For God's sakes, they had the oil in fucking in Christianity, and they're doing studies to like they believe that was cannabis oil that he was using to fucking heal the mind and stuff. So like drugs, I guess, have always been used in religion and stuff, and some people have literally experienced it through their own religion ways. Like you have the people in the South Americas that would like mix up that fruit and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like all of these things were put here on this earth way before us by some greater spirit.
By the source.
So you
dude.
feel me?
Yeah.
So like why, like, don't get me wrong, I could understand why somebody who would believe in, the church bells and the high angels would be like, oh, this is demonized and whatnot, because it's not something that aligns with their faith. However, this was put on this world. A lot of beings have used this to commune with their gods. I'm not gonna like shit on it and say, oh, you shouldn't try this. However, I'm not gonna fucking idolize it and be like, oh, this is what you should do to fucking talk to the gods. This is more or less an experience that I had that pushed me to seek out greater source. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like if people want to demonize it because they want to like fit everything into this physical category of like all the earthly rules apply to your spiritual, which in some cases yes, but not in all cases. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like if you're not causing harm to people, if you're not causing harm to yourself, if you're not out here pushing malicious intent, if you're just literally trying to spread the most high mind positivity you can, then by all means, may the gods bless you in your journey from all time to come. But the moment you skew off that path and start going into demented shit, falling yourself into like, instead of keeping shit at moderation, now you're indulging in too much. Now you're literally getting addicted to something that was at first probably just like a once in a lifetime thing for you, but now you're stuck and addicted to it.
Right.
So that's when
the difference.
That's
It's your intention behind
exactly, and that with that being said, that comes with like everything. Like, do you indulge in this stuff, or do you keep yourself in moderation? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
are you learning from these experiences, or are you just
letting them
fucking
happen and then
around,
just
like-
go repeat the same exact mistake.
that part, like
yeah.
every time somebody comes and talks to me about like acid and stuff, they're always talking about, oh, I want to see colors, this, that, and the thing. And I'm like, at that point, you kind of lost me because I can't even really tell you.
Molly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't even really tell you like what I even would like even recommend you doing, because at that point, oh, you're just trying to
You're trying to have a good time.
And at that point, like,
see some cool shit.
I'm not on, like, don't get me wrong, I'm gonna see some shit, but I'm not really doing it to like see cool shit. It's more like I did acid a lot of times, but a lot of the times I did it like I was going through like a heavy situation, like a dark time in my life, like something terrible. And I couldn't really find a quiet place for me to sit down and like actually gather my thoughts. So what I would do, I would take a couple of tabs of acid and I would sit and smoke with myself, just like try to like chill in my room and just understand everything from what was happening to now. And again, I can't explain the mental depths of it, but like having those memories and having those feelings course at you, and you understanding this is what I made people feel in these situations, because this is how I see myself from the outside looking in, from the outside, like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like from that third person view, like
you're able to step outside of your own experience and be like, okay, this is what I am. This is what I've been doing.
This is who I become, and do I want to stay this? And then, I don't do acid like every week type situation. This is something I do like once every 8 months or like once every 3 years type action now. Like when I was younger, yes, I was indulging in that shit. Like, I can't hold you. I was in a darker place. I was lost. My mind wasn't right. My spirit wasn't right. But once it started to once that experience like hit, and like I was like, it's like literally like the whole world was talking to me, and it was like, you have to align, and if you don't, you're pushing yourself into a deeper hole. I was like, yeah, something's got to change. And then like from there, like I started feeling everything different. I started feeling the people around me differently, and I still have a problem now with like letting out like the things that I want to say to people, because again, like, there's like a weird switch where it's like, how do I appropriately conversate with you without disrupting your vibrations or mindset? And that's been a difficult process. But overall, like, if I don't know, like, I wouldn't demonize acid or shrooms. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you should demonize any of this stuff.
I just know that people do.
Yeah, and people do that, and that's like that's not how we get anywhere. You know what I'm saying? The moment we throw up that barrier of like violence and like a hateful facade over it, it's like, oh well, I'm never gonna choose to understand this whatsoever.
Yeah.
Instead, like, even if you don't do it, like, just conversate with people that do. Conversate with people who do studies on it. Like,
a lot of people, like, this goes with anything. Like, when they, they try to put something in a box, like, away from mainstream society.
Yeah,
they're just afraid of it. They don't want to understand things because they just don't. They're just scared. Really. It's just fear.
And I feel like that's the whole thing. You got like it's easier to have people say no to something if they don't understand it, and you put them in a frenzied mind state about it. So anything that doesn't pertain to them is considered a threat. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And if you push that idea, which a lot of media outlets do, like, you're further cementing that divide, so there's no type of discourse whatsoever, and the discourse that does end up getting had is some ignorant militant shit that ends up fucking up the whole process. And then everybody flips the cameras back on and say, look, this is what the other side's doing.
We're just getting divisive over the wrong things,
over the wrong shit whole time. If you just take the moment to literally, and I feel like nobody actually like does this. They don't sit down and think about, how do I approach this situation from a better mindset? How do I come to this person not just as a human being, but as somebody who is trying to learn and understand? You know what I'm saying? People come at it with this whole ignorant, like, well, what do you know about it? You're just part of this, da da da. And it's like, well, you're not gonna get nowhere if that's how you're coming at it too.
Right.
Like, the fuck? Like, even if somebody does come at you hostile or some fuck shit, like, you gotta take that second to be like stepping away from your emotional outlet at that moment. And trust me, I've been there.
Yeah.
You gotta be like, how can I really approach this to get this person to understand that I'm not trying to be hostile? I'm just trying to get them to understand my point of view on it. And sometimes people won't understand your point of view. You just
some people just want to argue.
Yeah, that part. And it's
over
like,
shit they don't understand.
You know what
too.
I'm saying? And like, I've experienced that shit
Those are the
recently,
worst.
and like that shit is just like, that shit's just annoying as fuck. Like, it makes you like not want to conversate with the person like whatsoever. Like, could be sitting in the same room.
Like, once you find out somebody believes some fuck shit,
you're like, I
gotta go,
Literally.
dog.
Literally.
I gotta go.
that part. And so it's like, it does.
Like, you'll have someone trying to argue with something about something, and then, like, they'll just be like, oh. This is so unrelated, but just to change, like, the severity of what we're talking
Go
about.
for it.
At work, one time, this dude, we were in the break room, me and another dude I work with, we were sitting there. It was, like, right when the Kendrick and Drake beef started.
Shut up,
we were
Kendrick.
talking,
Fuck Drake.
and
Fuck Drake.
dude came in being like,
ain't no Drake dick.
like, you hear us talking about it, he's like, Drake's definitely got that. Kendrick apparently has, like, any good songs. And we were just like, huh? And we didn't find out at first, but it was just like the further we talked about it, and he was just like, oh, he only has like 3 good songs. I was like, bro, you don't even know what you're talking about. It's like, not like I listened to a bunch of Drake, but I fucking do know. But I've listened to enough Drake. I've listened to more than 3 songs for one thing. I fucking know that K-Dot's spitting that truth, and this boy was out here disrespecting it like a motherfucker. And we both were just like, bro, if you're saying that, you clearly don't even know who you're talking about.
Listen to music
You've never
before.
been listening to no Kendrick. So
Don't get me
it's
wrong.
like-
I listen to a lot of Drake.
Oh yeah,
I've heard my fair share
I
of
was
Drake.
a big
Yeah.
fan of his,
Back
you know,
in high
nothing
school,
was the
middle
same,
school.
all of that. You know what
No.
I'm saying, bro?
It was Bob.
He's
But
got hits.
Kendrick is literally, I don't know.
It was just
Every
one of the
time I
things-
Kendrick can literally make me scared on a car trip from Tennessee to Kentucky on one of his, I gotta remember the tape, but literally had me terrified in a car ride because the shit that he was speaking on. And I'm pretty sure it was probably on To Pimp a Butterfly. And
Probably.
He dropped,
Probably was.
What was it? Untitled,
Untitled, Unmastered.
Unmastered. It was probably on one of those two.
Yeah,
It does get scary
he
on
gets dark
that.
on Untitled,
I
Unmastered.
literally was like,
He
I
gets
was,
dark.
and I was like fresh 14, 15. Like, we're on a car ride from Kentucky to Tennessee, and it's just dark. And I got this blasting in my headphones, and I'm just like, I gotta remember the song.
It's like grown man, like soul repentance. Like fucking.
I'm like, yo, you can't top this. And growing up and just constantly, like, To Pimp a Butterfly is something that I will constantly go back on.
No,
100%.
honestly, thinking about it now, because y'all just know I love to talk about Kendrick. I gotta say, I've never thought about it until you just said that, but I feel like Untitled might be his like darkest.
Yes,
project. It
dude.
definitely is. Like the
It-
way it starts, like the first second. I'm thinking of all of them.
I don't want to. Well, yeah.
The
Yeah.
fifth one, Seventh Levitate's a pretty dark.
Yeah.
Honestly, the whole thing is pretty dark.
There are some lighter ones on there. I think
No, there is
the one with CeeLo Green. That one's a fucking
Yeah,
bop.
yeah.
How's that one go? Like, can you hum it for me? I don't remember how it goes.
I was just listening to
I
it the
know
other day.
8 and 6
It's like funky though.
Yeah,
Oh,
8
that was
and
a
6
good
are a little
vibe.
funkier, so I guess those
Yeah.
would be the exceptions.
Yeah.
But even those, even though they're
Yeah.
funky, it still gives the dark vibe. I
That's
feel like.
in my mind. That's like To Pimp a Butterfly Part 2.
No,
Like,
it's literally what it is.
Yeah,
Because,
he made them all
like-
during the same time. you know?
like that.
He did no. There was some crazy
That
shit.
I listened to that whole tape like 3 times, knowing I was shook. Like, Moon was out, all of that, and this man is just talking about the most insane. Like, and it's like, man, like it's so. Me at like 15, like I didn't know what the hell I was like really getting into, cause like I was like I never heard this. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then. Kendrick is a different beast mode, dog.
Swear to God.
Dog. Like that's the shit that I'm trying to. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like talking about him makes you talking about that shit makes you feel spooked out. The whole fucking air conditioner just kicked on, dog. Like what?
Nah, man.
That was wrap this up.
Yeah, that was a good first thing.
Hell
we
yeah.
didn't intro it. We just jumped straight in.
Right,
We just
right.
jumped straight in.
No,
we
well-
went to the deep end.
Yeah,
right,
we really
right
did.
away.
No, and I was thinking too. I got clips in there too. Like I can think of 3 separate clips. Like,
Yeah.
if it did come out, like there's
Yeah,
3, like, the 3
fire.
separate things.
Fire,
No,
dog.
but we'll end it like your fucking.
Ain't no way you
when we
left
interviewed.
you left the fucking mouse on the.
Dude, no, it moved because of this.
Oh,
Whatever. I'll
you fucked up the episode, bro. It's over.
Whatever.
Hey,
We'll catch
man.
you on the next episode.
Hey, we gotta dap up before we end it.
Oh.
Yeah. You already fucking know. Gotta give it up for the boys. Ethan G signing off. We will see you guys on the next episode.
Peace.